Okay, guys and girls, it's the great and glorious, soon-to-be famous Nick Dutch again. How's it going? Just another short video because I suppose I'm getting a bit pissed off with some of the abuses of the English language which a lot of New Agers and occultists come out with. Because, the New Age movement is great, the occult movement is great, the spiritualist movement is great, all of these things are wonderful. I just wish that more people within these movements would actually have a vocabulary and understand the meanings of the words they were using. One of the most common ones that really pisses me off is the phrase raising energy. You ask someone, well, how do you do that? They say, well, we raise energy. We raise energy. We raise energy. What are you talking about? Do you know? Do you know the meanings of the words you're using? No? You probably don't. So, what I'm going to try and do is to explain what these people are trying to talk about. The words raising energy. That's a soundbite. Alright? Leave that to the politicians. We're supposed to be practicing a science and an art, okay, of change in accordance with the will using supernatural ideas and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to provide an example from my experience, the first practical magic spell I ever did. I started off by doing a chant. I didn't know anything about circle casting, banishing rituals, lesser rite of pentagram, any of that stuff. And so I just started doing a chant. And there was no one else in the house. I sort of did it aloud, and it was great. I enjoyed doing it. But the thing is, I started to feel slightly better about it, and I started to feel more uplifted by doing it, and I started smiling when doing it, and I also actually felt a little more enlivened. It's just like when you're singing your favourite song and you can really put some guts into it. You know what I mean? I could only say that it's very likely that that particular feeling is what these people are talking about when they're talking about raising energy. Yeah, if you can combine that with visualizations of light coming out of the ground or light descending upon you when you're getting this high, then that would be absolutely tremendous. And there's nothing to say that wouldn't actually increase the effect of what you're doing. I mean, there's no concrete proof either way. We haven't actually done a stratified sample with controlled conditions and so on and so forth. I've tried to do that with my work. I've tried to experiment with different types of energy that I would raise, or energy raising exercise. Like if I did drumming, I would try and enjoy it more and more and more and more and more. Or if I was doing chanting, I'd enjoy it more and more and more and more and more. Essentially, a very common method of this raising energy thing is just to say a prayer again and again and again and again and again. And if you can really start to enjoy it, you can really start to feel good about it. You can sometimes get some wonderful spiritual sensations. But some people say, no, that's prayer, that's only what the Christians do. I'm an occultist, I don't do that. Well, basically that's bullshit. It's still what you occultists would call, and what I as an occultist would call, an energy raising exercise. Because it holds the mind on a concept, it holds the mind on an exercise. It is pleasurable, it is exciting, you can lose yourself in it. And of course it's focused in terms of meaning, sound, rhythm and all the rest of it. Now, when I was doing various types of magic, I know sigil magic for instance, some people have been saying that you always make a statement of intent before you do your ritual, or you create your sigil first and then everything else you do then is about forgetting all about it prior to doing your meditation and chanting and all the rest of it to raise the energy prior to sending it out. I'm not sure whether that's 100% true, because some of the best successes I've had have been with chants which were not related to anything, alright, but which sounded vaguely occult, spiritual or magical or religious, okay? And then at the very end of it, after I've been chanting maniacally for God knows how long, like 10-20 minutes, and I was feeling great, I would then make a wish. Literally, just use words I wish for, say it. And then add something cool like so mote it be at the end of it, just to make it sound even more weird and witchcrafty and magical. And then just laugh it off. I guess the thing which I reckon makes it more likely to work is the fact that I don't care whether it works or not when I'm doing it. I believe that I'm, feeling the power, man. But when I'm at that point, at the end of my chanting, and I make that wish, I don't care whether it's going to work or not. I'm not really trying to concentrate very, very hard to make it work. I'm just stating it and just let it go out of me completely without any care at all, and then laugh it off. And that's actually a method which works very well. Alright, so I suppose the first thing I want you to take home with you as a result of this video is what raising energy means. You know, it's performing something of a sufficiently repetitive and pleasurable manner for a long enough period of time. Although I've experimented with sex as a means of erasing energy, it's very difficult to not think about the action that you're performing, so it's best to just forget about that if we're trying to deliberately get results, and just focus on simple things: chanting, meditation, breath control, and then building up the speed of your breathing. Alright? Some people use what they call magical breathing, which is in fact just circular breathing. That's when you breathe in for a certain quantity of time, you hold your breath for the same time period, you then breathe out for the same time period, you hold your breath for the same time period, and you breathe in for the same time period, and you keep that up at a rate which is comfortable for yourself. There's no prescriptive number of seconds that you should be doing this for, okay? And the reason that people do that is it actually extracts more of the oxygen from the air when you're doing your breathing exercises. It does. Trust it. Trust us in that, okay? And so you can then use that too. It becomes another method of erasing energy, and you can increase the speed, increase the pleasure, making sure you're not going to damage yourself through not breathing enough or not breathing far too much, okay? But that's just another way of doing this thing called energy raising. But if someone just uses the phrase raising energy but they don't know what it means, it might be a good idea to either call them up on that and say, you know, which particular, you know, just to take the piss out of them really, and say, you know, which particular form of energy raising, alright, what particular chant should I be doing, and all that kind of stuff, just to like really upset them. Because if someone doesn't know the meanings of the words they're using, they don't have a right to open their mouth. Alright, remember that too.